We are back here on Girl Talk. We are at Beaufort Memorial Hospital, and we are very honored to be with Dr. Kurt Gambla today. He is the Chief Medical Officer, and we appreciate your time in this lovely office. I'll tell you, the facilities here are pretty phenomenal. Thank you for joining us. We've had the opportunity, really before the cameras roll, to talk a little bit about what your role is, and I think it'll be interesting for all of our viewers.
So I'm the first Chief Medical Officer that we've had here, and being a Chief Medical Officer, I have medical training and administrative training. So my job, to sum it up, is sort of to bridge that gap between administration and the medical staff and try to keep us from living in two separate silos, because really all of our goals are the same, to provide great patient care. Sometimes that looks a little different through the doctor's lens as it does through the administrator's lens. So one of my main duties is to try and be the go-between, be the facilitator, and get us all aligned and thinking about this the same way.
What does that look like, practically speaking, from a day-to-day operations point of view? What are some of the silos or some of the roles that you have that are specifically important?
So one of my big roles is quality and safety.
Oh, I love this.
And,
okay.
and making sure that we're keeping our patients safe. That's one of our main goals. One of the quadruple aim that is sort of the standard in all healthcare. The first aim of that is the patient experience, and patient experience is do no harm or don't hurt me, heal me, and be nice to me. So the first part of that, the do no harm, is to keep the patient safe when they come in the hospital and make sure we don't give them something or send them out of here with something that they didn't come in for while we're trying to heal them. And so the docs have a big part in that, administration has a big part in that, and making sure we're following all the rules and regulations, doing all the safe things. And so again, it's a matter of sort of coordinating those efforts.
And with that said, we're going to pin the other two right here and go to this one specifically. I know that Beaufort Memorial has recently won a couple of pretty prestigious awards within that category.
We have. South Carolina Hospital Association just honored us with 3 awards for zero harm. So we've gone 42 months without a central line associated bloodstream infection, 42 months without a colon surgery related infection, and 24 months without a hysterectomy associated infection. So that's sort of a big deal. Those are hard goals to achieve, and we're proud and honored to have gotten those awards from SCHA.
And that's what you work on continuously. That is one of your main core principles.
Right. We can never take our eye off the ball. You know, infections, so these are all about infections. Those are part of what we call HACs, or hospital-acquired conditions. And there's about 42 of them that CMS has listed. There's about 4 different categories, or 14 different categories. And so infections are a big part of that. Those are the things that we don't want to give people when they come in the hospital. And so we can never take our eye off the ball. It's continued surveillance and continued efforts on a lot of people to make sure that we avoid these infections.
Talk to me, if you will, about the patient experience. That was another one you mentioned.
So the patient experience, again, there's 3 parts to that. That's the do no harm, that's the heal me part. And the interesting part, sort of the newest thinking about the patient experience, the be nice to me part, is really let's treat our patients like anybody in any other business would treat consumers. Let's be friendly, let's answer the phones. Let's let them feel more like they're coming to a spa. That's the ideal. More like they're coming to a spa, whether it's in any of our outpatient offices or in here, than to a hospital. So make the rooms clean, make them comfortable, make sure that we greet them and smile, and that we really create sort of a nurturing environment while we're trying to heal them up.
Why is that so important to health and wellness?
Well, there's a lot of studies actually that show that our emotional state will drive how quickly we heal. So that's one reason. We want our patients to feel good emotionally and to feel like they're having a good experience. And the other part of it, frankly, is it's good business. If we don't want to just say, we hope you're happy that we didn't kill you. And,
and we cured you.
And that we cured you. Right. Now go away and come back when you're sick. We want people to feel like, wow, people really cared about me as a person. People really listened to me. People really paid attention to my emotional needs and just my creature comforts. The room was clean.
It's
it was
really
quiet.
interesting.
The food was good. You know, back in the old days, we were happy with just don't harm and heal. But this is a new part of it, and because it's the right way to take care of people, but also our patients demand it, because if we don't do it, they have choices many times, and they'll go somewhere where they can get that. So we pay attention to all of those parts of the equation.
So another pillar that you work with within the CMO position
Yes.
is what? You said we did the patient care,
Right.
quality. Let's talk a little bit more about the quality from physicians to patients, quality of care, risk management. How do you manage all of those things?
Right. So quality has a lot of different parts
Components.
to it. Right.
A lot of moving parts, as you said.
Right, right. So infection control is part of that.
Uh-huh.
And just making sure that every day we take the best care of our patients, not only from safety, but are we being good stewards of resources. So part of this spills over into population health, community health. Are we making sure that we know who is out in our community? Are we providing the best resources for them, getting them to the right place, right time, right amount of care? But also, another big part, more of the modern thinking, is we have limited resources out there. You know, in the old days, we didn't pay as much attention to it, but there are limited resources out there. There's a limited amount of money from payers.
Okay.
There's just a limited amount of stuff. And so our goal is to make sure that we're being safe, providing good care, but also we can't just order a ton of tests anymore. We can't just prescribe a ton of medications anymore. We have to be careful and selective about how we do it. So part of that is being a good steward of the resources also.
You know, we could sit here, frankly, and talk to you about 4 hours. There's so much to learn. And I think you said a really important thing when we were talking before. It really has taken a life of itself, the CMO position and what you're doing. And it's an amazingly patient-centric, am I allowed to say that, kind of position?
Yes. Yeah, it's patient-centric, but it's also doctor-centric too.
Okay.
So one of the key reasons that we have this role is, again, the evolution in thinking is that we can't anymore sit up in our administrative offices and say, we think this is a good idea, let's send it out to the docs and now ask them to carry it out. Docs are smart people. And what we've been, I think, as an industry, what we've been a little bit remiss about traditionally is realizing that the docs should be helping us figure out the strategies
Part of our
too.
team.
Right. They need to help us make these administrative decisions. So part of the evolution now is bringing the docs into leadership roles in the organization and bridging that gap so we don't have the docs in the silo here, administrators over here. We want the docs to also be administrative and put that hat on sometimes.
So you are the
and think through these
facilitator and
people.
sort of the liaison to that.
And that's what I try to do, is
I
bring
love
those
it.
two camps together. Right.
Well, Dr. Gambla, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. We want to thank all of you for joining us here on Girl Talk. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.